Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Lakeland Vale Let's Play series with me, CWATTYESO here in Farm Simulator 19. It's a brand new day and I'm heading to the store because I need some equipment to help me with today's job, today's task, which of course is going to be the sugar beet harvest down on the bottom of the map. So, grab myself a bit of equipment. Oh dear. Got the front weight attached. Dolores, you didn't really need to bring the front weight with you. The equipment that you're leasing does not require a front weight. Tell you what we'll do. We'll park it here. And because we're not going to, we'll try to remember to pick that up when we bring the equipment back to the farm. Right, we need beet technology, so we're going to need one of these. We're going to need one of these. With a bit of luck, this will work. And then that's it. The year 2 harvest will be complete, folks. Dolores has got everything harvested at that point. Then will come the challenge of getting our winter wheats, our winter cereals planted. Need to get obviously some of our fields cultivated. And of course the next thing we're going to be doing once the harvest is finishing is adding the missing animal type that Dolores does not have. We need to make sure we've got the piggies down on the farm. We'll be getting some piggies. Apart from that, everything else is rocketing along very, very nicely. Got most of the potato situation done, I think. As I say, got the fields mowed. I did forget actually. I did actually forget when I did my last mowing job type thing. I did forget field 5, so I've done that. I've actually mowed that, baled it off camera. So that's done, as was field 16. So when I said I got all the silage bales done in the last video, I was wrong because I hadn't done field 5. So I've done field 5 now. Hopefully, with a bit of luck, that's all good. I still have yet to fully decide right. Auto-way. That'll do. 2.9 seems about right. Pipes on this side of the vehicle. Down. Activate the GPS. And we'll start to harvest some sugar beets, shall we? Using this nice bit of equipment rather than a Homer or a Roper. very often I do the sugar beets with this method of equipment, but you know what? For this video, I think I will. It saves on leasing costs, because if I'm only leasing a machine for a day, it's not much point spending many thousands renting and leasing a Homer or a Roper. I know it sounds a bit weird, because obviously I bought my potato harvester outright and paid for that and actually invested in it, whereas right now I don't really want to invest in a sugar beet harvester. Dolores will at some point invest in a sugar beet harvester of her own to put at the farm. Right now that is not priorities, or is not high priority, should I say. But how's everybody doing out there? How are all you lovely viewers doing? How are your own farm sim games going at the moment? What maps are you guys playing on? What's happening in your farming life? I'm kind of interested to know what other people are doing, where their own stories and narratives are going. I think that's a lovely case for discussion. You know, what maps is everybody playing currently? Because there's a lot out there now. And I don't profess to know every single map that's been released, because I obviously haven't really looked and paid that much attention recently. I'm kind of locked in at the minute to this map, and on the multiplayer server we're on Fenton Forest, so I'm not really looking at other maps at the minute. Obviously I'm kind of waiting for the Millennial Farmer map to come out. I do want to have a look at that map when it comes out, because I do like obviously watching Millennial Farmer on YouTube, and to play on a recreation of his farm would be kind of interesting to me. I don't necessarily say I would do a full long-term let's play on his map, but it's something I certainly might stream a little bit of. I might do a couple of streams on playing on his map when it first comes out, just to see what it's like. But it's interesting, because another thing that's a little interesting, should I say, is that obviously how I've got these videos scheduled and releasing at the moment is a little bit different from how I started the series. The idea of that was to help me basically get the content recorded and uploaded, and not be so hand to mouth with the content, but actually allow me to get scheduled and get videos planned out a week or two in advance, sort of thing. Which means some of the videos are a little bit behind that you guys are watching. You know, when you watch this video, I'll probably be quite a bit ahead with recording and playing. I think as I'm recording this video on the 28th of May, I've already got videos scheduled and uploaded into June, which is obviously good for me. But because of that, people are obviously watching videos and they're making comments on videos that I've recorded ages ago. or what feels like ages ago for me. And one of the comments I got recently on a video, or was fed back to me on a video, was actually from Stevie himself, who asked me if I realised that I could use the silo for storing seed and fertiliser. I guess he was watching a video where I was having some issues with the racking system. The racking mod that I got in game. Or something like that. And I was like, Oh, I've still got some potatoes left. Best get rid of those. And I was like, yes, thank you, Stevie. Well, first of all, thank you for watching the videos, Stevie, and watching my Let's Play. And yes, I did know that the silo stores seed and fertilizer. The thing about Stevie's silos on his maps is they are a one-stop storage for everything. You can pretty much put every fill type in the silo on Stevie's maps. Every fill type that comes built into the map you can put in the silo. However, for the purpose of this Let's Play, I didn't really want to use the silo as my one-stop storage facility. Like I say, I wanted to use the pallet rack for putting my seeds, my fertiliser, my lime onto. There was some other mods as well. Gonna have issues. Doesn't want to unload into my trailer. Oh no. Have I brought the wrong truck down? Is this thing too high? This trailer might be too high. Now the truck's stuck. Right, Dolores, you're going to need to rethink this, because that trailer will not go under that auger wagon. That pipe on the harvester. And I don't think... Have a look. I don't think I've got any control over that pipe. Nope. So how are we going to do this then, Dolores? First of all, let's check. Will our auger wagon take sugar beets? The answer to that, of course, is no, it won't, because it's not the right. It's an auger wagon. It hasn't been modified to accept bulk material because it's the actual vanilla one that's in the game. Could go to... Oh, the J&M's not even bulk either. I haven't modified that one. Right, let me have a quick think. Where have I parked? My green trailer. Down here at the sheep area or the cow area. It is. It is indeed. It's over here, look. I mentioned this in a recent video that I've placed a building, or a building at the farm, but I hadn't yet shown it to you guys because I was kind of working it in off camera sort of thing. Well, here it is, folks. One pig food making machine ready for when I do the pigs. At the minute, it's not got a lot in it. Apart from some cereal crop. This is where the sugar beets will come in very handy. Providing, of course, that I can actually get them unloaded from that harvester. Should have thought the truck might have been a little bit too high. A note to self, a note to Dolores, that when I do eventually get to the point where I buy an actual sugar beet harvester for the farm, make sure I buy one that I can unload into the truck. Don't buy one that I've got a faff with, because that doesn't help anybody, does it? Let's see, will this trailer unload? Or am I doomed? Tell you what, it's not brilliant. That harvester is really picky about where it will unload. At what point? That is a little bit annoying. Unfortunately, I don't have my steering wheel controller plugged in on my PC at the minute. Otherwise, I could have used the shifter stick to actually raise both the front and rear units on this thing at the same time, which means I would actually be able to travel faster between rows. I'm kind of limited because I can only lift the front unit or turn off the front unit at the minute. I can't influence the rear unit of the harvester without having to press triangle on my controller and keep switching, and that gets annoying fast. It was so much easier when I had my steering wheel plugged in that I could just click the shifter up or down to raise and lower both the front and rear units. It worked really well when you had mowers. When you was doing mowers and you had a mower on the front and the mowing units on the back of your tractors, that worked really well. I used that quite a bit when I was on Ballydorn on the multiplayer server whenever we did the grass mowing. Yeah, Dolores' final harvest of sugar beets. Well, not final ever, but obviously our final harvest of this year. And then obviously we're going to need to get the field re-prepared. Like I say, get the oilseed radish on it. I'm then probably going to look at maybe, just maybe, coming down. I've installed a couple of mods which I hadn't got installed, and I might look at coming down and doing some tree removal. I know I don't normally do trees and logging and stuff on a map. I'm thinking to myself, you might want to remove some trees. There's a row over there which separates field 16 from this bit of land over here, from field 15 here. I might remove that row of trees that runs up. And then obviously at the top of field 16 where I've been doing my grass mowing, I'm probably going to remove all the trees that border that, because they're a little bit close to the top of the field. Which means you can't really work the field north to south with your mowers, with your balers, with your tedders, your windrowers, etc. It was a little bit awkward. And then there's just a couple of other random trees that I think I might remove. Now I don't know whether I'm going to remove them and actually like make them into logs, because a lot of the trees that are kind of giving me, are catching my eye, are the weird horrible bendy ones, like that one there to my right and that one directly in front of me. The ones that don't actually make into logs because they're all bendy trunked, you know, compared to like the fir trees and the pine trees that are on the map, which obviously do make great logs. A lot of the trees that are kind of in the way are the bendy variety. I don't know whether to get like a logging machine, like a Scorpion King or whatever, to remove trees, or whether I just go with the T-Rex from Black Sheep Modding just to get rid of them. I mean, I think certainly for like the trees like the silver one in front of me now, the grey one in front of me now, you have to do those with the T-Rex, because they don't make for the, you can't really use them for anything else unless you want to make wood chips, and in that case you're sawing them by hand with the chainsaw into little logs and throwing the little logs into the back of the wood chipper. Tab through all my vehicles again. I don't think this only holds about 45,000 litres, doesn't it? This trailer. At best. So it may be a case, folks, that I carry on and do this sugar beet harvest off camera and bring you guys back when I'm actually done and finished. I'm not going to be selling the sugar beets. I have a use and a need for those, so they're actually going to go straight into service at the farm. So you're not going to miss out there. Yeah, 88%. Pretty much. I'll drive all this row actually. Get this finished. Empty, take 100% back to the farm with me. And then carry on. I don't look like I've got too many more rows to do. So I'll bring you guys back just as soon as I am done. Right, the sugar beet harvest is done. I'm going to take the trailers back to the farm. The tractor with the sugar beet harvester is already at the shop. I'm ready to return that, get my weight. Excuse me, my voice has gone funny. Had some real life drama to deal with in between finishing off the sugar beet harvest. As I was doing that, I got a phone call from a nurse at the hospital I was due to go to next week in real life for an appointment. And I'd already rung the hospital at the beginning of this week because I hadn't heard anything from them to tell me whether or not the appointment was going ahead. Because obviously in this COVID-19 situation, a lot of things have been shut down and cancelled and stopped and stuff like that, as people are supposed to be in lockdown and things. So a lot of my medical appointments that I normally have, they've all been sort of cancelled, postponed, temporarily put on hold until, you know, later on in the year, when hopefully the world has returned to normal. Missing a truck. But yeah, I rung the hospital at the beginning of the week to see if the appointment was going ahead, and they said not as normal. It will be a telephone appointment, which is what I've come to expect from a lot of my appointments. I said, oh, that's good then, because I don't need to arrange transport, hospital transport, to get me to the hospital then. I says, and what about my blood test? Do I need to have my blood tested and that then before I go, before next week? And the secretary I spoke to says, no need to do any of that. You're all good. The doctor will ring you next week. And I was like, fine, perfectly wonderful. However, I had a phone call while I was doing the sugar beet harvesting from one of the nurses at the department I was supposed to go to, and she says, you don't need to come to hospital next week. The doctor will ring you on the day of your appointment. I was like, yeah, already know that. I spoke to the secretary on Monday, and that's perfectly fine with me. I don't have to travel 40 miles. I don't have to get in a vehicle. I don't have to deal with all that stress and anxiety and everything that comes with travelling to these hospitals. However, the nurse says, you do, however, need to get your blood tested. I was like, the secretary I spoke to on Monday says I didn't. She says, well, you do. We've given you the form. Please, can you get your blood tested? I was like, right, okay. It's Thursday. My appointment is on Wednesday. That doesn't leave me many days to get an appointment. So obviously I rang my doctor's surgery straight away, and they said to me, nope, you can't come here for your blood test. We're not seeing anybody face to face. We're not letting anybody in the building. You can't come and have it done here. I was like, okay, that's a problem then. I was like, well, do you know if the hospital path lab is open for me to go and have it done at the local hospital? He says, we don't know, but we would assume so. So I quickly went downstairs, because I obviously haven't had a lot to eat or drink today, so I quickly grabbed something to eat, drank almost a litre of lemon barley squash to make sure I was hydrated, because if you're not hydrated and you're a bit dehydrated, they can't find your veins, and then they're sticking needles in you for ages trying to find your veins, and you become a pincushion. So I was like, I don't want to do that. Then I was like, okay, got to go up the hospital then. So got my face mask on, got obviously family member to take me up there to the local hospital, got parked up in the disabled car park where I normally always park, only to find the doors there are locked. The hospital has got all its doors locked apart from the ones at accident and emergency. That's the only entrance to the building, the hospital. So I had to walk all the way around to accident and emergency, which nearly killed me. I got to the accident emergency, and then there's this flipping security guard, great big fucking beefy black guy, on the door, asking you fucking 500 questions, wanting to know what you're doing there, do you need to be there, and all that. And I'm like, well, yeah, I've got to have a blood test done. It's got to be done. So eventually he let me in, but then obviously I'm in the accident and emergency department, which is a long way from the pathology department. So then I've had to walk miles round the hospital, miles round the hospital, to get to where I needed to be to get my blood test done, which again nearly killed me. Finally got my blood test done. Again, usual situation. The nurse fucking has a couple of goes trying to get it out of my arm, of me right arm. Then she has a couple of goes trying to get it out of my left arm. she can't find any veins, so eventually she goes and sticks the needle in the back of my left hand, which is really painful when they go in your hand. Got me blood, so I was able to come out. So yeah, bit of excitement in the between when I stopped recording and was able to complete this harvest. So Magnum is at the is here at the shop. Gonna first of all return the leased equipment. However, I'm not going to waste a journey, so while I'm here, I've talked about it in the past. Where is it? Is it under disc arrows? $14.2 meters. I have the crumble rollers. We'll have a back hitch. Don't know why. It's not as if I'm going to be pulling a seeder as well as cultivating, but hey ho. I'll also take one of those back to the farm with us as well, because we are going to need that. Obviously, the field that I did the sugar beets on now needs to be ploughed, which means I am going to just go down there, seed it with my oilseed radish. I don't know if I don't think it needs lime, otherwise it would have showed up as needing lime. No, it's just a case of go down, put the oilseed radish on, let the oilseed radish grow, and then we can go down there and do the subsoiling. So that, I'm afraid, is going to be it for today's episode, folks. Hope you've enjoyed it. When we come back tomorrow, obviously, I'm going to look at maybe adding the pigs into the farm, or as the day continues, because I realise I've been playing on 1x speed all today, so it's still very early in the day. It's only 9:30. So what I'm probably going to do, or should I say what I'm definitely going to do, is do the pigs tomorrow, get our pigs purchased. I might just need to do a little bit of prep work off camera for that, moving some crops from the silo down to the pig food machine, so I'm actually able to feed them the minute I purchase them. Part this in here. But anyway, if you have enjoyed today's video, folks, please go ahead, click that like button for me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments down below, and like I say, let me know what maps you guys are currently playing and what's going on your farms. And don't forget to share the video wherever you see fit, with whomever you see fit. And remember, this has been the Lakeland Vale Map by Stevie, so be sure to thank Stevie for the wonderful work he's put into this map and his others over the years. And I'll see you all again very soon with the next episode. Bye for now, folks.